How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Booga Booga tier list video. If you guys didn't check out the video I made a long time ago, I made a video ranking all of the Booga Booga games I had played a long time ago. That's kind of, it was kind of a good video, people liked it, and this was the list that we decided on. However, as you can see by the bottom, we have quite a few new games I want to add to the list, and we're going to take down the old list and do Booga Booga, all of the Booga Booga games I've played, ranked, updated. So we're gonna give new rankings depending on what I like and everything else. So to start, this game right here is the old icon for Booga Booga Revived, so we're not going to include this one, it's just the old icon. Anyways, without further ado, let's begin the ranking. Okay, so let's start it off with The Lost Sea. Now lately, I've been enjoying The Lost Sea a lot more. It's so damn good. It's so good. It's like a mwah, chef's kiss. When I initially played it, I really liked it, but there was some things I didn't like about it. Like, for one, it didn't have many players, and there was certain things like the tools had a durability I didn't like. However, nowadays, this game has like 100 players average, a ton of new content, and Booga The Lost Sea is an incredibly rewarding game to play. I love it a lot, and that's an easy, should I put that in an A or an, I think, you know what? I'm gonna have to say it's an S tier game. It really is just that good in my opinion, that The Lost Sea, even though it's not a true Booga game, it's a Booga-inspired game, it's so good that it gets the S tier anyways. Now, swiftly moving along, we have Booga Booga Ancient Times, which is another amazing game, and I believe I gave this an S ranking in my previous video. Again, the same issue with The Lost Seas is an issue I used to have with Ancient Times, is that it's such a good game, but it just didn't have a player base, but now it does, and it's so much better. They also have things like, I believe it's called Endless Mode. That's a game mode in the game I love a lot. Booga Ancient Times is a game that does it differently. It does Booga differently, but it's so good. So good, and I mean, I could go on and on about the Ancient Times. It's such a good game. I think it goes without saying that it's an S tier game, especially now that it gets a ton of players. I can't get enough, really. I can't get enough. Next up, we have Booga Booga Reborn. Classic, very nice game. Booga Booga Reborn is one of those games, it's really good because it's the most popular one, obviously. However, it just doesn't draw me in like it used to. When I first got back into playing Booga Booga, I loved Booga Booga Reborn because it was popular and it reminded me of the classic game, 2018, 2019 Booga, with a little bit of added content. So Booga Reborn, it reminds me of the it reminds me of my favorite era of Booga. However, sadly, it just doesn't do anything different. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing it does nothing different because it leaves room for all of the other games. However, personally, I'm gonna say Booga Reborn is a B. It's a B tier because it's a good game, it's very fun, however, it doesn't get much updates, and it doesn't really give me a reason to log on frequently. I think I put it at an A last time, but today, we're gonna put it at a B. Next up, we have Booga Booga New Seas. New Seas is an interesting game because it is good. However, I feel like Booga New Seas tries too hard, in my opinion. It does too much, if that makes sense. It feels like it wants to be more than a Booga game, but it doesn't want to be a new game. It's kind of an awkward thing because, The Lost Sea is inspired by Booga, but The Lost Sea is so different that you could call it its own thing, and you'd be completely right. Because it's so different to Booga that it pretty much is, incomparable. You can't really compare it to Booga because it's completely different, but it has the same themes as Booga. Whereas Lost Sea is completely different from Booga, but it seems to be really committed to Booga, if that makes any sense. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It tries really hard, but it does it too much. I'm gonna have to put it at a D. It doesn't even have a player base, which is unfortunate because it is a good game. It's not my cup of tea, but it is a good game. I can say that unequivocally, but it just doesn't have a player base. It's not my cup of tea, and it just goes above and beyond in a way that isn't as fluent as it would like to be, unfortunately. Next up, we have Booga Booga Rebirth, aka Survival Odyssey. Personally, I was never a massive fan of Survival Odyssey. The TikToks are very funny that Survival Odyssey has been doing. Very funny, very goofy, and I, as much as I like to make fun of them, I enjoy it, and I enjoy the publicity it's bringing to the community. Survival Odyssey is kind of like a Booga Reborn clone, and I say that respectfully, but Survival Odyssey seems to want to be Booga Booga Reborn, but kind of different. It's like Booga Booga Reborn's cousin, if that makes sense. It's like Booga Reborn's new sorry, I'm getting jumbled up. It's like Booga Booga Reborn's younger cousin that, like, wants to be Booga Reborn, if that makes sense. Like, it tries to be Booga Reborn, but it just kind of, I don't know, it doesn't give, it's worse than Booga Reborn in a few ways, but it's not really better in any way, so it doesn't really compensate. You know what they say? Nobody beats the original. You can copy all you want, but nobody can do it better than the person themselves. I'm gonna put it at a C tier. It's not a bad game. It is a good game. However, it feels like a clone. Respectfully. Next up, we have Booga Booga Reloaded, I believe this is called. This was Proxo's game. He discontinued it, so I'm just gonna put it at a D. Me and Proxo had a falling out, for those of you who don't know. I don't like him that much. The game was not really anything big anyways. I mean, Proxo's a good guy. I don't know why I said I don't like him. We had a falling out. He's a good guy, but he did some bad things. D tier for me. Next up, we have Booga Booga Classic. This is a soybean patented game. I don't like it that much. I think Booga Classic, it does some good things, but Booga Classic, it feels like a product of soybean, and I like soybean, but I prefer the fan-made games than Classic. Classic is fun though. I had a lot of fun when I played it back in the day, but I'm gonna say it's a C tier, same tier as Survival Odyssey. Next up, we have Booga Booga 2020 Remastered, which is Jafar's game. I really like 2020 Remastered. Jafar did a really good job on it. I actually really like Jafar. He's a good developer. 2020 Remastered, I had a lot of fun on, and it just felt fresh. You know what I mean? It really felt fresh. I'm gonna put it at an A. I really think it's an A. It's fresh. It's good, and it got me excited to play Booga again. Now, Booga Booga 2020 by Soybean, that's another story. You know what? It's not that bad. People seem to hate on it a lot. It is a bad game, but it's not horrible. I'm gonna put it at a D tier, but it's a high D tier. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost a C tier. You know what? It is a C tier. 2020 is not that bad. I kind of enjoy it. Next up, we have Booga Booga Admin. Oh boy, this game is quite something. Personally, I never liked the idea of admin games much. I think it's very sellouty. Like, it's a cash grab, in my opinion. People like it, so, you know, I mean, I'm gonna put it at a C. That's the most I can give it without, you know, disrespecting my own integrity. Next up, we have Booga Booga Genesis. This game is real good. I haven't made a video on it yet, but I plan on making a video on it because this game is genuinely good, like really good. And I'm very excited to make more videos on this game. I'm kind of, you know, partnering with the owner and the devs. I'm kind of a part of the team now. Very, very great to be aboard with them. And yeah, this game is just great. Booga Genesis, for those of you who don't know, I made a video on a game called Booga Booga Re-Classic, and all of you liked that game a lot. The owner of Booga Booga Re-Classic is now working on Genesis. They kind of merged. And yeah, very good game. I've only played it a little bit, but I can already tell you that it really fucking goes above and beyond. And I'm super excited to see how far it goes, because it's gonna go fucking far. And I can promise you that. I'm gonna give it an S tier. Call me biased, but I'm gonna give it an S. I really am. Next up, Booga Booga Modded. There's not much to say about Booga Booga Modded. It's pretty much the same as Booga Admin, but it's like a different flavor of Booga Booga Admin. I'm gonna give it a C tier. It's just not that good. Next up, we have Booga Booga Revived, which is my game, for those of you who don't know. I really like Booga Revived. Now, this is the latest version of Booga Revived. Sadly, the game did die, which broke my heart. It broke my heart a lot, I'm gonna admit. However, you know, it's a good game, and it's my baby. I'm gonna give it an A, because I love it that much. And you know what? I'm gonna give OG Booga Revived an A as well, because it is good. I mean, Booga Revived, the community loved it, everyone loved it. It was very, very fun. It's just a shame that it had to go belly up in the fashion that it did. Yeah, very sad. And the last but not least is Booga Booga Universe. This game is definitely solid. I'm not going to call it the best, but I'm not going to call it the worst. It does a lot of things differently that I like. It does a lot of things the same that I like. And it's fun for a few it's fun for a week. It's fun for a few days. It's not quite the kind of game you would get super invested into, but it's fun if you're just bored and you want to try something new. And for that reason, I'm going to put it as a B. Hopefully this list is complete. I mean, there's a lot of Booga games, but these are the main ones in my opinion. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you want to see another Booga Booga ranking video, please do let me know. I'll see you all later. Stay awesome as always, and peace out.